Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm really excited today to get started using my Cozy Christmas kit. This is the collaboration kit that I am doing with Nathalie from LineDotArrow. All of the links will be down below if you want to go and check the kits out. I'm also going to leave a link to a playlist for the Cozy Christmas where you can see a flip through of the kits if you are interested. And I'll also have all of the challenge videos in that playlist as well, because Nathalie and I, as usual when we release a kit, we have a series of challenges going on at the moment. There are lots of freebies to be had as well. So all of that will be under the same playlist called Cozy Christmas. All links will be down below. So my project for this, I thought rather than doing something big and making a full-on journal, I might do a series of smaller projects. Because some people buy digital kits, and yes, you can make a wonderful journal from them. But I have had people ask, well, you know, is there anything else that I can do with these kits? Something smaller. So that's what I'm going to focus on, I think, this time. I'm not going to make a huge journal. I'm going to make a series of smaller projects that could either go inside a journal. They might go alongside a journal as something smaller. They could even be a happy mail or a stocking filler. So that's my plan for the Cozy Christmas kit. Right, let's get on with today's make then. So I'm just going to move those out of the way. Now I have pulled out a couple of sheets. So this one's from the kit. This one was actually a freebie, but they are just background pages. Now they don't particularly have an orientation. This one kind of does because you have the writing this way up, but then that way it's to its side, so it doesn't really matter. And this one obviously is just patterned, so this definitely doesn't matter. What I would like to make in this video is a zine. Now I did make a zine a few months ago and it was a huge hit and lots of people really loved it. So I thought, again, like I said, for a small gift to somebody or something that you can have alongside a main journal, a zine is just such a great idea. So I wanted to have a go at making a Christmassy version of one. So I'm only going to use one piece of paper and I'm going to use this pattern. So if you haven't made a zine before, what you need to do is with your, I'm using A4 paper, but obviously if you're in America, it still works the same with your letter size papers. So you just fold it in half lengthways. And you want to try and get it as closer to half as you can. Obviously, I know it's not always to get it exactly, but as best as you can. Make sure it's got a really good crease. Then you want to fold in half the other way. Okay, again, making sure that you've got a really good crease, and then you want to fold in half again. So I'm bringing up the folded edge to the open edge again. And again, just making sure that you are really burnishing those folds. So you can use a bone folder. And then when you open it up, I know it's probably a little bit tricky to see on camera, but you should have then 8 sections, 4 along the top, 4 at the bottom. Now what we're going to do is we are going to cut along this middle portion. So the easiest way of doing that is to fold it in half, although I think I'm going to fold it in half this way just because it's harder to see on the pattern side. So I'm going to fold it in half and then I'm going to cut from the fold, so this is the folded edge, up to this score line. So just up until that folded edge. And you want to try and do this as straight as you can. I have seen people use a guillotine to do it, like a paper trimmer. I personally can't use a paper trimmer to do that. It would end up all over the place. So I've used my scissors. So you should now have a gap in the middle. You are now going to fold it down and then you want to start pushing it together so these bits come out. So you end up with that. And then you just keep pushing it together and you'll notice that it'll kind of naturally flap one way. And then you just want to encourage that and just fold that down. So you've now got 3 pieces on this side and 1 on here. And then you'll have to kind of judge it. You may find that it may want to go more one way than the other, but you want to bring that single side over to the others as well. Now, because of the bulk of the pages, you will find that obviously the page does shift and it doesn't obviously fold properly. So like I said, you can see a little bit of white now showing on the other side. That's not a big problem because we can sort that out in a moment. So I'm just going to fold it that way, and I'm going to fold it back the other way as well. Just to, as I say, encourage that fold. Okay, so you now have all 4 of them on one side. Now, this is the base of your zine, and you've essentially got a little booklet. Now, there are a few things that you can do with this, because you will notice now that you have, where we've obviously sliced the top, you've got an opening at the top. So you could have that as a pocket, and you just obviously need to glue the bottom, and then you can pop a tag in there. These, where they're open at the side, what I've done before is glued down the bottom, and then you've got a side pocket, and then you can have that alternating. So you've then again got a top loading pocket and a side loading. And I think that's what I did last time. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to use this as kind of like a little mini journal. So I'm not going to have those, but I am going to create pockets and things within it. So I will obviously be gluing pages down. Some people like to just glue the pages so they're all stuck together. I like to do it bit by bit, because if I need to cut or trim something, like if I am making a slot for a pocket, I need to be able to open it up. So if I've got everything stuck down, that doesn't work. So I'm going to do it page by page. So as I said, I do not want a top loading pocket, so I'm not going to have that. And I was thinking of having one page that's going to have a little bit of journaling space, and then the next page is either going to be just decorated or have a pocket. So for this particular one, I want to create a pocket. Now I have this thin strip of file folder from another project that I was doing, so I'm going to use this. I'm just going to zoom you in a little bit. Obviously, now that we've got a smaller surface to work with, you're going to want to see what I'm doing. So now that we've got this booklet, as I said, I'm going to have some journaling space here. So I have got some tea stained lined paper which I'm going to use. So I'm just going to kind of tear that and stick that down there. This side, as I said, I want a pocket, and I want to create a kind of strip so it reinforces the pocket a little bit here. So I'm actually going to cut a slit in here so that it slots inside this bit here, which I hope makes sense. It will hopefully in a moment. So what I'm going to do first is just I say measure, loosely measure this bit. I'm just making sure that folds because that page seems to be pulling. So I'm just going to see how much I want to take off of this strip, because obviously it is quite long at the moment. So we're going to have a little bit of gap either side. So that's where I need to trim it. Okay, and just to give you an idea, this is just under 3/4 of an inch. I might actually change it to 1/2 an inch, so I'm just going to make that a little bit smaller, I think. Oops. Where's my pencil? So I'm just going to make it 1/2 an inch. There we go. Okay, so now I've got this, I'm going to use my corner rounder, and I'm going to use the smallest one, and I'm just going to round the corners a little bit. So Okay, that first curve went a little bit wonky, so I'm just going to straighten that out. That's a bit better. Okay, so that's going to be the strip that goes along there. So I am going to just ink around that. So I am using Vintage Photo. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is just glue that into place. Okay, like that. Right, while that's drying, I'm just going to do the journaling bit for this piece. So like I said, I've got some lined paper here. So I do kind of want to tear the edge a little bit. And then just seeing how wide I want it, about there. Okay, so just taking some off the top and the bottom just so it's got kind of got that torn look all the way around, and then I want it about there. Okay, so that's going to go on there. So again, I'm just going to do light inking around the edge. It doesn't have to be too heavy. And again, just going to glue that down. Okay, so that's going to go on that side. Right, so now that that's a bit more dry, we can cut our slit in here. So I'm just going to grab my cutting board, and because I want to cut the slit, obviously I don't want to cut on this side, so I am going to open it out just so it's easier, and I'm going to turn it onto its side. Now I do apologise if you can hear noises in the background. My neighbour is having some work done in their house, so there is lots of kind of drilling and sawing and things going on. Okay, so I'm just making a little mark either end, and I'm going to draw a line there. And then what I'm going to do with my craft knife is cut either side of that line, just so I make a little bit of a hole. Okay, and then turn it around to do it the other side. And then I'm just going to cut down between each of the slits just to kind of pop that middle piece out like that. So now when this goes back together, we then have this. Now obviously you can now see the white behind, so all I'm going to do is just gently ink behind, so that now it's not so white. Okay, so that's that bit done. Like I said, I'll do all my gluing at the end when I'm gluing everything down. I just want to make sure all my pockets. So now we've got that, we've got a pocket. So I'm going to have another little journaling space. And this one's actually perfect, good size. So we're just going to pop that down. Well, actually, I'm just thinking, I might make a scrappy to go here. So I'm going to use this one on this page because I'm going to repeat that first thing. I'm going to have another pocket here. So I'm going to glue that one down on that last page, or second to last page. I do love making zines. I think if you like making journals but perhaps haven't got the time to make a full journal, a zine is really, really nice because you can potentially still have some great little spots for journaling. But yeah, without necessarily having to make one huge journal. It only uses one sheet of paper. Obviously you may have more pieces of paper to kind of do the embellishing, but generally one sheet of paper for the base. And then just adding your own sort of bits and pieces on it. So I'm going to create another one of these. So I've just marked that. Again, I'll have to cut this so it is 1/2 inch because obviously it's still a bit taller. That one was much better. And then I'm just going to do exactly the same that I did on this one. Right, okay, so I've done the same as I've done there, so I've even inked behind just so we kind of cover that. Right, so on this page then, I was thinking of maybe having something to just kind of decorate on this side, and then rather than just having a plain one piece of paper, actually making like a little scrappy to go in there. So again, I am going to use some of this. So let's just see, yeah, so I can tear just around where that line is. Then obviously I want a bit off the top and the bottom as well. Okay, and then we can then fold that in half. I also have this kind of green music paper which I thought might be quite nice. So I'm just going to tear down that way. And I want to take off that edge as well, just so again it's got a slightly rougher edge, it's not just straight. Okay, but even though we've still got the music, there is also space to write as well. So it adds a bit of decoration, but also allows for some writing. So we can have that kind of coming down there. Excellent. And I think it just needs something else. So I've got all of these little cutter parts. So what could we have? quite like that, so I think we'll have that one. Although that one probably stands out a bit more, doesn't it? So we'll go with that. Oops. Okay. Okay, I am thinking I want something else behind there, so I've just pulled out some cheesecloth. I'm thinking this might just add, again, just a little bit of texture, a bit of something along that top. We can glue that on, and I also have this ribbon as well, which might look quite cute, so let's have some of that. Okay. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just stick these bits together. And I'm just going to use my tiny attacher. I'm just going to do one little staple. It doesn't need to be a lot. There's not a lot of pages there. And then I'm just going to put a bead of glue along there. That's then going to go on there. And then obviously when I glue these toppers on, I obviously don't want to put glue all the way along here, because then it's going to be very difficult to lift this up. So the glue is really only going to go on the green one. So I'm just going to do that. Add my cheesecloth first. And I don't mind that I've got bits poking up. That does not bother me whatsoever. Then going to have my ribbon. Okay, and then the wreath. Okay, and then that's that scrappy. And all I'm going to do is just trim these off slightly. And then we want something for this side, even if it's just a bit of decoration. Now I like this, but the problem I have is that it gets a little bit lost with the background. So I've obviously got all of these little tear-offs. So I'm just wondering how I can use these to break up the back a little bit. Since I've got all these strips. Right, let's have a little play. Let's start with that one. Then maybe something thin. And then the star. And then all I did for this star is I've attached two together, I've sewn down the middle, and then use a little reindeer. That's from one of Nathalie's. I believe that might even be one of the freebies that Nathalie had from the first challenge. But that's just going to go on there like that. So we've got a lovely little cluster using up our scraps. Okay, so we've got that. We've got a little scrappy pad and then a scrappy cluster to the side. We've got our writing space. We've got our pocket. Right, okay, so now to perhaps start sealing some of these pages up. So as I said, you could, if you wanted to, make this a pocket. I'm not going to on this occasion. So I'm literally just going to seal up all of these pieces here. So I'm just putting glue down those edges. I'm then going to do the same along here. So I'm going to do the same along the bottom and then down the side. Okay, that's that page. Then this one again, you could have the top pocket, but I'm not going to, so I'm just going to seal the top and the bottom. That's that one, and then you've got your final page, which again is another pocket. So again, I'm just going to seal down the bottom and up the side. Okay. So you can see how quickly these are coming together. So we now have a pocket page, a place to write, a cluster, a little scrappy pad, another pocket page, somewhere to write, and then we've got our front and back cover. So on the front cover, I have already kind of got prepared this little Christmas tree. This is from my kit. All I've done is just put a little ruffle up the middle and then put a couple of those little coloured gems to look like baubles, and then that's going to go on my front cover. Again, I'm probably going to use some cheesecloth behind just to kind of break it up a little bit, because while we've got a colourful background, and I've picked one of the paler trees because I do have the tree in the same pattern, obviously that would just blend straight in. So I have gone for this one, but it just needs something else in the background. So I am going to use some of this just to kind of break that up a little bit. Okay, so again, just going to pull and rough those edges. I do love using cheesecloth. I think I use this on most projects, to be fair. Right, and then okay, again, just going to re-rough the edges where I've cut, and then I'm going to start sticking this down. So I'm just going to do a kind of Christmas tree shape with my glue. Then just going to kind of put this on top. And then obviously when I pop this on top, it will kind of pin that to there as well. So a bit of glue on the back. Whoops. Ah. Right, okay, so that's that stuck on there. Again, we've got a few of these runaway threads. I don't mind them too much, so I'm not fussed about those. But we have our little Christmas tree on the front. We open up, we've got a space to write. We now have a pocket, so if I bring in some of these cut aparts and things, I have got a couple of tags here. So we could pop this little tag in there. So there's one. And then in that other pocket, we can pop this one. So there's another tag. Now obviously we do have all of this space down at the bottom as well, so we can do something with that. So what have we got? maybe use some greens. We've got Santa Star. What else have we got in here? Got these little letters. So we've got Christmas in that one. That's quite a big tag, so we can probably pop that in one of these as well. Let's have a look. So we've got festive, jingle. Family, gift, tree, and cozy. Right, okay, so let's have a little look. I'm going to put these away because I'm going to use those for something else. So, well, looking at this, what could we have? I'll maybe go with jingle because we've got the bell and we've got her riding down on a sleigh, haven't we? So I'm just going to tuck that back in there. I'm just going to get my decal edge scissors just to kind of trim that top a little bit. That's a bit better. Maybe actually put that ticket behind just because otherwise we're covering up that girl's face and it looks like she's kind of peeking out from that pocket, doesn't it? Okay, so we said jingle, wasn't it? So if we've got jingle, let's just give that a little ink. So we've got jingle. Oh, I've got some bells on here. How perfect is that? So we can have jingle on here, can't we? And then Natalie had these beautiful little butterflies as well. So I think we'll use those. Okay, so we'll stick this down first. I must say, I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but it is freezing here where I am in the UK. Absolutely freezing. So I'm definitely feeling Christmassy. I put my Christmas decorations up this morning, but definitely not feeling cozy. I think that's the only thing I'm missing. I am absolutely frozen. We've had not snow yet. We have had weather warnings for snow though, so whether it's on its way. But it has been very frosty and icy. So yeah, not been pleasant to drive of late. And then let's put this butterfly down. Can go there. So we've got a jingle. I like that page. That one's obviously already done. So then we've got this, and what have we got? Some letters. So if they're letters to Santa, maybe we have the Santa ticket. So we've got another butterfly. We have got a Christmas tree. I might put the Christmas tree down here. Okay, then that one actually I'll put on there. Oops. So we've got lovely little acorns there. Okay, so we've got that one. So what did we just say? Santa, because we had letters to Santa, didn't we? What else can we have on there though? We've got more tickets. Oh, a little snow globe with a Santa on. Awesome. That's perfect, isn't it? That was one of Natalie's freebies. What does that say? Christmas life. We could have that as well, couldn't we? Just Trying to see what else we've got. We've got candy canes. We'll keep that out just in case. But yeah, no, I love the little bauble. Snow globe, sorry. Okay. Let's give that a teeny tiny ink. Okay, then we'll have Santa. And the wonderful little snow globe. So cute. And then we've either got Christmas Life or the candy canes. I think the candy canes are probably too big, so we'll go with Christmas Life. Okay, I'm thinking just because it's got the hole there, I might put a little bit of ribbon through that one. So I'm not going to pop an eyelet in it, but I will pop a hole in and then grab a little bit of string. So I've got this Christmassy one. Awesome, that goes in there. Right, and there it is. So let's just take a little look. So we've got the lovely little Christmas tree on front. You then open up, we've got a journaling space, we've got a pocket, we've got a little scrappy pad, a little bit of a cluster, another place to write with another pocket, a little bit of a cluster at the bottom, and then the back. Now of course you can decorate the back. I'm not going to, because generally obviously that's the bit that's kind of going to be down on the table, so I don't want anything getting sort of scuffed and ruined, so I'm not going to put anything on the back. But yeah, a lovely little zine. As I said, I do love zines because they're a nice, quick and easy project. They only use up one piece of paper to make the base, and then how you embellish it is entirely up to you. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've been inspired here and that you may have a go at making a zine yourself. As I said, I love making these. I think they're great little stocking fillers as well for this time of year. Nice little small gift for somebody. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next crafty video. Bye for now.